Welcome to Week 15 of the NFL Weekly Pick'em Show on the Grueling Truth Sports Network. We are brought to you by mybookie.ag. Go to www.thegruelingtruth.net. Click on the MyBookie page. Takes you right to the games. You can bet on them this week. Let me introduce, first of all, as is custom, the biggest loser of the week. But he was 12-4. So help me welcome to the show, Alex Golden.
Well, I got 75% of my picks right. That's a passing grade in school. It wasn't the best, but it still got me by, and, I still can graduate. So, that being said, I can't be too mad at myself.
All right, we had a three-way tie for first. All three of us at 14-2. First up, and he's giddy with excitement because the San Francisco 49ers are on a roll. Help me welcome to the show, Matt Andruscavage.
Giddy with excitement. Yeah, why not? I'll embrace that role.
All right. And next up, also at 14-2, he is not giddy with excitement over NFL officiating. And Brian, what's a touchdown?
I have no idea after this week what touchdown is. I know what the rule says, but as with Des Bryant catch, as with Megatron Johnson catch, and as with this, the rule makes no freaking sense.
All right. And then,
but I will also say this. It should have never come down to that. And throw the damn ball away.
Yeah.
That's all I have to say.
We're going to start there. We're going to start with the Pittsburgh-New England game. And we'll start with Brian. And my question was this. I think the way the rule is designed and the way it's interpreted, it's not a touchdown. But number one, I think it's a stupid rule. I think if you catch the ball, you cross the line, it should be a touchdown. But either way, my problem was with the coaching and the quarterback play at the end of the game. Because number one, once New England scores, it's 25-24. They're going for two. And they put Gronk on the right, all by himself. And Pittsburgh brings out one DB who plays inside leverage on Gronk, who's about half the size of Gronk. And then, as you said, on the final drive, Big Ben can't make that throw. So the way I look at it is this. If you're a Steeler fan, as in most cases, the officiating, it didn't help. But in the end, there was a couple decisions that were made there by Tomlin and Roethlisberger that really negated any chance they had to win that game at the end.
Well, it was, you and I actually, I think it was Sunday night, we actually were talking about the inside technique. I mean, first of all, the best tight end in the game, arguably, you could put him as a receiver, and I mean, he'd be in the top 6 or 7 receivers. I mean, he's that good, and he has that ability. Why, when he's out there all by himself, I mean, everybody in the room, even if you don't know football, knew where it was going. So you play an inside technique on a guy who you know is going to run a fade, and he absolutely made him look like a fool. Anyway, horrible technique by Burns on that. I mean, just horrible. But you and I could have lined up a quarterback, and we could have thrown that, and we could have completed that. He's out there by himself. That's an easy throw. Again, and as you and I talked about Sunday also, in that final drive, I mean, he buried them because they had primarily one-on-one coverage. Look, let somebody else beat you. You cannot allow that guy to run down the middle of the field one-on-one and think that somehow you're going to cover him, because there's not a DB in the NFL that can cover him. It was horrible. And then obviously the play at the end of the game. I did not question, even though I knew it was coming, I didn't question that. I just questioned it. throw the ball away and kick a field goal and let's go to overtime and see what happens. Why try to force it in there when he was obviously not open, not even close to being open? It was terrible. It was absolutely gut-wrenching as a fan, because as a fan to watch that, it just eats you up. And yeah, I mean, the call didn't make sense. The rule doesn't make sense, but that's been a conversation, go all the way, Des Bryant, Johnson. I mean, that's been, this is not the first time it's been brought up. So yeah, it's a very hard game to watch. There's a lot of times the Steelers lose and I can accept it because that's just part of football. It happens, but that was very unacceptable, and I think there's a lot of people that need to have the finger pointed at them for that loss.
All right, Alex, what was your take on the game or the finish of the game?
Well, first and foremost, if this was not the Steelers playing the Patriots, there's no way Rob Gronkowski would have been playing in this game, seeing what he did 2 weeks ago. And so I think that's something to look at as well. I mean, the guy had like 169 yards, I believe it was. So, like, if you take that away, the Steelers win this game easily. But the NFL knows what they're doing when they come down to suspensions, and they know that they got to make money somehow, especially this season with ratings being down. So I think that's just a fault on the NFL in the first place right there. And then secondly, that last play, I agree with Schmidt. How do you not call that a touchdown? I mean, I watched that several times, and I was just shocked that it got called back. Now, I get the rule. It's a stupid rule. It doesn't really make sense, and I don't think it's really hard to tell if someone catches the ball or doesn't catch the ball. I mean, if you put it in slow motion, you can probably say that every person that catches a football bobbles it at some point, or they move it a little bit, but who cares? I mean, the guy had possession. He crossed the plane. It should have been a touchdown, but, of course, the NFL finds a way to let the Patriots win.
Oh, come on. The NFL finds a way.
Really, Alex? Come on.
They suspended Tom Brady for 4 games for nothing. If they wanted to make sure the Patriots would win, why did they screw with the Patriots? They wanted to make sure Gronk played because your ratings are better. They wanted to make sure Michael Bennett played because the Rams game was a big game. But I think it's crazy to say that they go out of their way and they want the Patriots to win.
I mean, the Patriots drive ratings. Come on now. I mean, I get the Steelers do some work, but when you have Tom Brady at the top of things and they've been dominant for so long, it's so easy to dislike the Patriots because of how they just seem to. I don't even care about that. They just get away with so much. I mean, you go back to Spygate, you go back to Deflategate, like the rule last year against the Ravens.
Come on,
Alex. Deflategate was proven to be crap. I mean, there's an MIT professor that did tests on it. You can watch it on YouTube or on the MIT website. And the Spygate, what happened with Spygate? Spygate was a Jets game where at the end of the first quarter, they took the tapes and they destroyed them. They never got to use them. It didn't help them win a game. And there was no rule against them doing that at that time. They put the rule in afterwards because everybody spies on everybody in the NFL. Bill Belichick was the only one smart enough to videotape it.
Well, all I got to say is whenever it comes down to a close game with the Patriots, 9 out of 10 times they get the benefit of the doubt. Jeez. And all I'm saying, I'm not saying that's why they won the game. I'm not saying that. But they should not have had Gronkowski in this game. It would have been a completely different ball game. And I think it goes to show you just with the Panthers and Thomas Davis, the reason he didn't get suspended 2 games for his blindside hit is because they didn't suspend Gronkowski. So they're just setting a precedent here. And it was the first 4 games of the season. I mean, big whoop-de-doop-de-doo. The Patriots have a solid enough team, and they had a good enough quarterback, Jimmy Garoppolo, to be able to handle that, Tom Brady suspension. Now, if it had been the last 4 games of the season or something like that, or he would have missed the playoff games for tampering with the game, that would have been something totally different.
But he never tampered with the game.
How? He deflated the footballs. Yeah, people do it. I mean, obviously.
Tom Brady deflated the footballs?
You don't know that.
Guys in the locker room.
Okay, jeez. Aaron Rodgers admits to overinflating the footballs. Why don't we do anything to Aaron Rodgers?
Because he's not tampering with the game.
He's overinflating the balls. He said he overinflated the balls. I mean,
Yeah,
and
it's
I'm
a lot harder
sorry,
to catch
but
that than it is a flat
What
football
was the
in the winter.
PSI? What was the PSI? How do
Yeah.
you know it was overinflated? What was the PSI before and after? What was the PSI of the Colts
I don't
football?
remember.
yeah, because
Nobody
the PI
knows because they weren't keeping track of it.
No, it was made
Well,
up.
I don't even care because the Colts were going to lose that game, period. I mean, the Colts
You
got
have to
murdered
care
by
a little.
41-2. What? No. I think
You have
it's
to
just,
care a
I don't
little or
care
you
who
wouldn't
the
bring it
Patriots
up.
are playing. I don't care if the Patriots are playing the Browns. If you're going to sit there and try to, tamper with the game is
But
what
they
I'm saying,
didn't.
and
There's
try to
no
find a
proof.
way to get an advantage.
There's
You're
no
making a
proof that
false
they
accusation.
did. There's no proof that they did.
What are you saying? I can't hear you. You're both talking at the same time.
I was the only one talking, but there was no proof that they tampered with the balls. That was proven. It's just like
What
Bounty
did Matt
Gate against the Saints was proven to be absolutely falsified evidence from the NFL. I mean, there's tons of evidence on this. I looked into it when I wrote the story over a year ago about it. And I didn't really care if he overflated it or deflated it anyways, because as a coach, anything you can do to win the game at that level, you do.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if you want to play that game, that's fine. But
Well, that's the game
all I'm
everybody
saying
else
is-
plays.
Well, all I'm saying is I know the Colts were not going to win that game. I don't care who they were playing or what they did. If the rule says to have the ball at a certain, measurement, then don't have it underneath what it's supposed to be. Don't try to tamper with the game. Don't try
They
to,
didn't.
okay, whatever.
Well,
Well,
I mean,
that's
it
my
was-
thoughts.
It was.
You don't know.
You don't have
They
to
don't
agree with
keep
me.
track
We
of
can just move
anything.
on.
Jeez.
You guys don't agree. You guys are getting all fiery and,
Nobody's
teaming up.
getting
So that's
Well,
fiery.
they're
fine.
getting fiery.
I mean, when it was
They're getting
You
fired.
proven.
are.
Okay.
I'm not
Matt,
fiery.
your
Yeah,
opinion?
well, here's what I will say about this this Steelers Patriots game. It is interesting. I don't think there's a vendetta to help the Patriots simply because of what they did with the Deflategate. I think that nullifies all of that. But I will say this about the call. It didn't surprise me at all that they made the call because I saw the ball move, and we all know what the rule says. It's a stupid rule. I hate it as much as everybody. I would go ballistic if it was my team, so I totally get anything Brian would say on this. I think we all agree it's a dumb rule. I wasn't surprised they made the call, but what did bother me a little bit is when the video surfaced of Brandon Cooks making a game-winning catch against Tampa, and darn near the exact same thing happened, and the call stood. What bothers me is the inconsistencies of the calls across the board in the league, regardless if it's pass interference, holding, and these kind of calls. They change games, and it is very, very often where it's just arbitrary, whatever the official feels like calling.
Yeah, there's
And so
too
that
many,
bothers me.
There's
I don't
too
like
many
it.
rules that are open to interpretation.
Right.
That's exactly it.
Yeah, and I mean-
exactly
I don't
it.
like that.
Dallas and Detroit have both been screwed out of winning playoff games because of this.
Yep.
Yes.
And maybe Pittsburgh loses home field advantage on it, but at least with Pittsburgh, you had a chance to come back and do something about it. Where Dallas against Green Bay, that was pretty much the game right there. So at least they had a chance to overcome it. But in the end, I think we'll see these two teams probably play again anyways. All right, let's go ahead. We'll go to next week, or this week, Saturday. The Indianapolis Colts at the Baltimore Ravens on mybookie.ag. Baltimore's a 13.5-point underdog, Alex.
Baltimore's a 13.5 underdog?
I mean, a 13.5-point favorite.
I'm about to say, man, what have my Colts done? Did
I don't
Andrew
know.
Luck come back or something? My goodness.
Mike still thinks the Colts are in Baltimore.
I do. So this
Right.
really confuses me when I see Indianapolis at Baltimore. I think, why are the Colts playing the Colts?
Yeah, well, real quick, Matt, when you're talking about that Brandon Cooks touchdown, was that last year or this year?
I believe it was this year.
Oh, so you mean when he was on the Patriots?
Yeah. He was on the Patriots.
Okay, so that
Patriots
that
won a
just makes
game.
my point.
That's what's really interesting. No, it does not make your point because of the Deflategate thing. The NFL is not out to help the Patriots, but they
I'm not
do.
talking about the
I
Colts
obviously
case. That was just one example.
no, but I do understand. That teams there are times where teams just tend to get a call, and I think the Patriots did benefit from that game. No question about it.
Yeah, okay. That's all I was trying to say. And I think if you look down to it, I think the Patriots having home field advantage against the Steelers is probably what the NFL wants. But anyway, back to the Colts-Ravens game. There's no reason to pick the Colts. They're terrible. They can't even stop Brock Osweiler. So, the Ravens, I'm going to give them, 21 points here. Like, they're going to kill the Colts. There's no way the Colts have a chance.
Yeah, I agree with Alex on this one, Brian.
Yeah, I 100% agree. Baltimore is definitely going to win this game. I can't even find a way to give the Colts a chance in this.
All right, Matt.
Yeah, same here. Colts fighting for their playoff lives. They'll win.
All right, next up. This could be an
Ravens.
interesting game.
Ravens.
I'm in Ravens. I'm screwed up too.
Dang, I just wrote it down, no, and I don't think we can change that without a vote of everybody, can we, Brian?
No, I think he's got to stay with the Colts, seeing as how he's 2 games in front of me and
3 in front of me.
3 games in front of you. Yeah, I don't think we can change it. I mean, it's got to. There's got to be 3 people voting here and 2 people will get it. I vote we keep it Colts.
I mean, Alex, do we make it unanimous?
Well, I think if I pick Ravens and Matt picks Ravens, then it's even. So I'll pick the Ravens for Matt so he can keep his pick.
I thought you'd already picked the Ravens.
That's what I'm saying. Matt said Ravens.
All right. Next game, the Minnesota Vikings at the Green Bay Packers. I'll pick this one first. I assume Rodgers won't play. I think it was stupid to play him last week.
He's on IR.
Is he?
He's on IR.
He should have been on IR the rest of the season. I don't know why they played him last week. I think it was a risk they didn't need to take. The Vikings are better than the Packers. Hell, the Vikings might be better than everybody right now. So I'm going to take the Minnesota Vikings. There is no point spread on this game yet. Brian?
Yeah, I'm going to take the Vikings. I think the Vikings right now they're not only playing, we've talked about how they play defensively, but boy, offensively, they just do the right things to win a football game. They're not a pedestrian offense by any means, but they don't take a lot of chances. They do the right thing, and I think this is going to be a really good team in the playoffs.
All right, Alex Golden.
Yeah, I think the Vikings last week, I think it was pretty cool to see Teddy Bridgewater get in there because they were such a dominant lead over the Bengals. And it was cool to see Keenum kind of embrace Teddy Bridgewater and have the fans, chanting with him. I thought that just showed what kind of team this unit is right here. And when you're playing football together, I think it's going to be hard to beat. And these guys are having a fun time. So, yeah, there's no doubt in my mind the Vikings win this game, especially with Green Bay without Rodgers.
Yeah, and I think Mike Zimmer's a guy that I would make him the coach of the year just because of everything he's went over or went through with his quarterbacks, Matt.
Yeah, you took the words out of my mouth. I was just going to say that. Mike Zimmer should be coach of the year. He's definitely the best coach in the division. And what he's had to do with he had Dalvin Cook, who was looking like a top running back this year. Dalvin Cook goes down for the year. He just plugs in Jerick McKinnon and Latavius Murray. For him to get what they've been getting out of Case Keenum, and obviously the defense is the backbone of the team, and they are so disciplined. They do the right things. That's exactly what it is, and I don't see any chance Green Bay has just because Brett Hundley isn't going to be able to move the ball against this unit. The Vikings are just defensively are going to keep the Packers probably 10 points or less.
All right, next up, we got the Detroit Lions, somehow only favored by 5 points at the Cincinnati Bengals. I don't want to give my pick away, but on mybookie.ag, I've already put money on this and taken Detroit and given the points, Alex.
Yeah, I'm going to pick Detroit as well and, give the points as well.
And I do not want to hear you call the Bengals trash, Alex, because I don't think we need to offend trash.
Well, yeah, no, I completely agree. The Cincinnati, woo.
Yeah.
They're in for a long offseason.
They've packed it in. They're not in for a long offseason as long as they don't decide to bring Marvin Lewis back.
Well, they probably will.
Yeah, it would not surprise me. Brian.
History does repeat itself.
Brian.
Yeah, I'm going with the Lions. I don't know how you could possibly make this point spread that's low. Yeah, the Lions and get on my bookie AG and jump on this quick.
Yeah, Matt.
Yeah, Lions big. I don't see any way. I mean, they're fighting for their playoff lives like the Ravens, and the Lions look good.
Yeah, Bengals suck. Marvin Lewis sucks. The whole situation sucks. I'm going to go with Detroit. The next game.
Who would actually win in a fight, though? A Lion or a Bengal?
I don't know. That's a good question. I think
That's
the Bengal would probably be
game.
quicker, but the Lion's got that mane to protect his neck.
I know.
Now,
it's a tough question.
How about this, though? Who wins if, the Bengal is, owned by Mike Brown and taught how to fight by Marvin Lewis? Then I think the Lion wins. You just got to look at it in a different way. All right, next up, we got the Los Angeles Chargers -6.5 at the New York Jets. Matt?
Chargers, the Jets, I'll give them credit. They played admirably at times against the Saints in New Orleans, which they kept it a game for a while. That was surprising, given the fact that they don't really have a quarterback. But I think the Chargers, I don't know if the Chargers are still, I guess they still would be, because I think they're only a game out of their division.
Yeah, but
so
it's just like being two back, though, because Kansas City, I think, beat them both times.
Yeah, I think you're right. So Kansas City would have to lose out.
Yeah, their best chance is probably a wild card.
Right. I don't know exactly how that would what the Chargers playoff picture is looking like, but either way, they must win this game or they're out. So I'll go with the Chargers to win.
All right, Brian.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Chargers, even though my role against picking the Chargers when they go all the way to the East Coast is being taxed here. But I think this is a game, especially because they have to have it. So I think this is one that they will go to the East Coast and win.
All right, I'm going to go with the Jets in the upset. I just like how Todd Bowles has them playing hard all the time. They played tough in New Orleans. The Chargers were on a roll, but we've seen once the Chargers get on a roll one way, they get a loss, and that roll goes downhill. I'm going to take the Jets in an upset, Alex.
Yeah, I mean, that's a tough game right here because I like the Chargers. Now, it looks like, the Bills are ahead of them right now record-wise, and Tennessee is ahead of them as well. I wouldn't be too worried about Tennessee because they can't really seem to figure it out. Buffalo's got the Patriots this week. That'll be a tough game. So if they can get 500, I mean, I think the Chargers, have a good chance here, and all they have to worry about is Baltimore as the other team. And I think Baltimore's going to get in because they play the Colts this week, so they'll be a shoe-in. So I think the Chargers are going to win this game.
Bengals.
Yeah, so they're going to get their 10 wins. I think I said that last week. So I think the Chargers really just have to worry about Buffalo and Tennessee, and I think Buffalo's got Miami and New England left, and then Tennessee's got I don't remember who they play this week.
They play the Rams.
The Rams will probably lose that game, and then whoever they play next week. So I mean, I think overall, I think the Chargers will have a chance to get that 6th spot. So I'm gonna pick the Chargers.
All right, next up we got the Los Angeles Rams favored by 7 at the Tennessee Titans. The Titans have played like crap lately, or as Alex would say, trash. Alex, Rams at Titans. Garbage. There you go.
Yeah, I kind of just spoiled this. I apologize. I kind of spoiled this, but yeah, the LA Rams are going to help out the LA Chargers here. So yeah, LA Rams beat the Titans.
All right. I'm going to go with the Rams also. Coming off a big win, though, going to Tennessee. Tennessee needs to win, but I just don't see any reason to pick Tennessee the way they've been playing. Brian?
Yeah, I'm going with the Rams. They just continue to be impressive, and Tennessee just is looking, they just don't look like a team that really is excited to play football right now. So I'll go with the Rams.
All right, Matt.
Yeah, I'm with the Rams as well. I think the Rams, 10-4, they need to win this. They win this, they clinch the division, and they still have a shot to move up to at least the number 3 spot, I believe. So I think they still got something to play for. Titans don't look very good. Got to go with the Rams here.
All right, next up. This is a game that is interesting, but not necessarily in a good way. Cleveland at Chicago, Brian. Chicago favored by 5.5.
You know how bad I want to pick Cleveland in this? Cleveland against the Bears. I really want to pick Cleveland in this, but I can't do it, so I'll go with Chicago. But I won't be surprised if Cleveland wins.
All right. Well, they better, or they're going to be 0-16. Matt?
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of in the same boat. I'd like to pick Cleveland just because they've shown a little bit of fight at times. But, the Bears are kind of in the same boat. They've played well at times, but I think they've played well more times than Cleveland has, and they're at home, so I'll take the Bears.
All right. Alex?
I mean, what do I have to lose? I started 5 weeks after you guys already started this thing, so if the Browns are going to win one game, it's got to be this one against the Bears. So, yeah, I'm going to pick the Browns in the upset. Josh Gordon goes off.
Yeah, I could see that happening. I think Jordan Howard might be too much, but I'm hoping Cleveland maybe wins this game because it sounds like for some reason the Cincinnati Bengals want Hugh Jackson, and they might be able to get him through in 16, and then my team would be the only team to hire a coach who's 1-31 over his last 32 games. That would be fun. I'm going to go with Chicago, but it wouldn't surprise me if Cleveland wins. Next up, we've got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the Carolina Panthers. Carolina's favored by 10. I'm going to go with Carolina here, Matt. How about you?
Oh, definitely. Carolina still looks pretty good, and they're 10-4, I believe. Just like are they 9-5 or 10? I think they're 10-4 with New Orleans. So they got a lot to play for here. So I don't think Carolina will do very much when they get to the postseason, but they are still somewhat of a dangerous team, even with Thomas Davis sitting out. So I think they'll win.
All right, Brian.
Yeah, I'll go with Carolina. This is actually kind of an easy game for me to pick. I think Carolina's playing pretty well, so I'll go with Carolina.
All right, Alex.
Yeah, I'm going to pick the Panthers here, but I don't like the point spread on this because Tampa Bay, they play their division rivals pretty well. And so I think it'll be a closer game than you expect, kind of like we saw last week with or actually last night with Atlanta and Tampa Bay, about a 3-point game. So, yeah, I would not touch this game with the points. I'd give the points, but I'll pick the Panthers.
All right, Alex, the last game before our halftime. We get the Atlanta Falcons at the New Orleans Saints. The Saints are favored by 5.5.
Yeah, now this is a tough game here. I think the Saints want redemption against the Falcons after they, lost that game. And Alvin Kamara went out in the first, series there. And Kamara has just been a huge addition to that Saints backfield. So I'm going to pick the Saints to win this game. And, it's going to be tough for Atlanta because if Detroit gets that win against the Bengals, which they probably will, then they're going to have, that race is going to be tough next week for the 6th spot. So especially if Carolina beats Tampa Bay. So, yeah, I'm going to pick New Orleans here.
All right, Matt.
Yeah, I think I have to go with New Orleans. Atlanta has struggled too much this year. There was a stretch there where they looked like they were getting it together, and then, boy, they really struggled last night. They were very fortunate to get out of there with the win. And but New Orleans, I guess it's too close to when they played last, and New Orleans is feeling bitter about that. So I think they got a good chance to get redemption.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Saints, but I think this game is a toss-up, Schmidt.
Yeah, it is a toss-up. I think this will be one of the better games this weekend. The Falcons, good football team, but with the Saints, especially at home, and especially the way that the way they do. I think the Saints are going to get redemption in this. I just don't think Atlanta will be able to keep up with them in this game. I think the Saints will definitely win this.
All right, guys, we will be back after a commercial break. You can listen to Alex Golden tell you about mybookie.ag.
Hey, everyone. My name is Alex Golden. I am the host of the Courtroom Podcast, an NBA debate show here at The Grueling Truth. And I'm here with one simple message. If you're watching the games, it's time to start making money. The Grueling Truth has partnered with MyBookie.ag, an industry-leading sportsbook website who reminds you that where you bet is just as important as who you're betting on. And that's why The Grueling Truth urges you to check out MyBookie.ag. In addition to the usual thousands of odds, money lines, proposition bets, and futures offered on MyBookie.ag daily, they also have in-game live betting and a mobile site that makes wagering on the go easier than ever. So join now, and MyBookie.ag will give you a 50% bonus on first deposit for up to $3,000 in extra playing money. Just enter promo code TGT50. That's TGT50 to take advantage of this offer. Visit MyBookie.ag, courtesy of the Grueling Truth Network, and enjoy winning today. MyBookie.ag. You play, you win, you get paid.
All right, guys, we're back on the Week 15 NFL Pick'em Show on the Grueling Truth Sports Network. I'm your host, Mike Goodpaster. My co-host, as always, Matt Andruscavage, Brian Schmidt, and Alex Golden. We'll go with Brian. Denver at Washington. Skins are favored by 3.5.
This is going to be an ugly game. I'm going to take the Redskins at home.
All right, Alex.
Yeah, this game's ugly. I don't think either team has been playing very well, and I know both teams actually started out the season looking pretty decent, and it's just kind of, sad to see them kind of fall apart here towards the end of the season. But the Broncos have won 2 in a row. They've got 10 days rest. The Redskins, I don't know. I mean, you know what? Forget it. I'll just pick the Broncos. They've been playing a little bit better. I know they beat some terrible teams, especially the Colts, but this is a game that I think they can win.
All right, I'm going to go with Brian on this. I'm going to go with Washington just because they're at home, and Kirk Cousins is better than Brock Osweiler. Plus, Denver struggled with the Colts, so that doesn't say much for Denver, even though they've won 2 in a row. Matt?
Yeah, Washington, simply just because they're at home.
All right, Matt, start us off. Miami at Kansas City. The Chiefs are favored by 10.
Favored by 10. I like the Chiefs in this game. I mean, the Chiefs have definitely hit a wall up to this past week when they were able to finally win a game. I'm still not sure what kind of a team they are, but I do think they're better than Miami, so I'll take Kansas City.
All right, Alex?
Yeah, I'm going to pick the Chiefs here just because they have to win. They've been playing a little bit better football. They're back in charge of their division. I'm going to pick the Chiefs.
Yeah, I'll go with the Chiefs also, Brian.
Yeah, I'm going with the Chiefs. Hopefully for Chiefs fans, maybe they're finally starting to get together after this horrible stretch. So I'll go with the Chiefs.
All right, next up, the New England Patriots are favored by 11.5 against the Buffalo Bills. Alex Golden, I know you're a big Patriot supporter. Who you got?
Oh, man. Well, I would love to see the Bills win this game, and part of me wants to just pick them. That way the Patriots get screwed and the Steelers get home field advantage because the Steelers got a nice little, easy 2 games here to close out the season. So, in spite of the Patriots, I'm going to pick the Bills.
All right.
Plus, the Bills are fighting for playoff contention, too, so.
Yeah, I think Buffalo could stay in the game with them. I don't think it's like New England's a lot better than everybody else this year. And I don't think it really matters to New England if they're in Pittsburgh or New England. Schmitty?
Just remember the Denver game.
What Denver game? Because this is the thing I remember, Alex. I remember them going to Pittsburgh 2 or 3 times and winning championship games.
Well, I'm just saying, when they played on the road against Denver, that's when Peyton Manning walked out with the Super Bowl because the defense carried him, obviously. But that Denver team probably would not have won in New England. So I'm just saying the Patriots do need that home field advantage.
That was 2 not very good football teams. I mean, that was a bad year for the AFC, the way they have been lately. And that was a Patriots team that's offensive line was terrible at the time.
Yeah, I mean, I understand what you're saying, but I'm just saying I think they need home field advantage for sure.
All right, Brian?
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Patriots. On this, Bills are fighting for a playoff spot, which is good, but Patriots at home, it's hard to go against them. But I will be rooting for the Bills though.
All right. I'm going to go with the Patriots because I'm going to root for the Patriots because I like the Patriots because everybody else hates them. Matt?
Hello?
Matt?
Hello?
Hello?
I think we lost Mark.
What?
Hey, Puckheads, this is Patrick.
And Jason.
From the Puck Guys podcast at the Grueling Truth Network, and we're here with one simple message. If you're watching the games, it's time to start making money.
The Grueling Truth has partnered with MyBookie.ag, an industry-leading sportsbook website who reminds you that where you bet is just as important as who you're betting on. And that's why the Grueling Truth urges you to check out MyBookie.ag.
In addition to the usual thousands of odds, money lines, proposition bets, and futures offered on MyBookie.ag daily, they also have in-game live betting and a mobile site that makes wagering on the go easier than ever. So join now, and MyBookie.ag will give you a 50% bonus on your first deposit of up to $3,000 in extra cash. Just enter the promo code TGT50.
Hold on.
That's
TGT50
to take advantage of this offer. Where do they got to go, Jay?
That is a smart-looking question, Pat. They need to go to visit mybookie.ag, courtesy of the Grueling Truth Network, and enjoy your winning today.
Mybookie.ag. You play, you win, you get paid.
If you're in pain and you need help quick, you better call on Dr. Vic.
Firefighter Paul Pratt almost lost his job to lower back pain. Then he discovered a non-surgical back pain treatment called spinal decompression therapy. Spinal decompression works to ease pressure between discs, while pulse therapy helps to restore blood and nerve flow.
If you're in pain and you need help quick, you better call on Dr. Vic.
Call Dr. Vic now.
Hey everyone, my name is Alex Golden. I am the host of the Courtroom Podcast, an NBA debate show here at the Grueling Truth. And I'm here with one simple message. If you're watching the games, it's time to start making money. The Grueling Truth has partnered with MyBookie.ag, an industry-leading sportsbook website who reminds you that where you bet is just as important as who you're betting on. And that's why the Grueling Truth urges you to check out MyBookie.ag. In addition to the usual thousands of odds, money lines, proposition bets, and futures offered on MyBookie.ag daily, they also have in-game live betting and a mobile site that makes wagering on the go easier than ever. So join now, and MyBookie.ag will give you a 50% bonus on first deposit for up to $3,000 in extra playing money. Just enter promo code TGT50. That's TGT50 to take advantage of this offer. Visit mybookie.ag, courtesy of the Grueling Truth Network, and enjoy winning today. Mybookie.ag. You play, you win, you get paid.
All right, guys, we're back. We had some technical difficulties. Matt Andruscavage, you there?
Hello.
All right. Matt, you there?
Yep.
All right, so who do you got? Buffalo, New England.
I've got New England, but wouldn't be surprised if Buffalo makes it a game. I just can't see them winning it.
All right. I want to apologize, everybody, for the 3 commercials you just had to hear. We had a little technical difficulty. We are back now. Everything is fine, and it's just in time for the game of the week. The Jacksonville Jaguars, favored by 4.5, over the juggernaut San Francisco 49ers of Matt Andruscavage. Matt, who you got?
Well, I'd love to take my team, but just don't think they've got enough firepower and enough guys on defense with 26 players on IR. And even with those guys, I'm not sure they'd win. So Jacksonville's a good team. I think they're playing really well right now. They got a heck of a defense. And Blake Bortles ain't really playing all that bad. So, I mean, I wouldn't say they got a powerhouse running game right now with Fournette being banged up as he is, but they're a good team. So I'm going to go with Jacksonville to win, but boy, I'd sure love to see Jimmy Garoppolo continue to play well and pull it out.
All right, Alex?
Yeah, I think Jacksonville's been playing some pretty good football, and, they've seen some impressive play here recently from their wide receiver. What in the world is Cole? I can't remember his first name, but he came out against the Colts and just dominated us, like 80-some yards. He threw up 186 yards last week for a touchdown. When you let Blake Bortles throw that many yards on you, that's a problem. That's a Texans problem for you. But, yeah, the 49ers have been playing pretty good. They've won 3 in a row, but I think the streak ends at 3 here. Jacksonville is just too good.
Yeah, and I think when you talk about Bortles, I know he had a bad year last year, but that whole team was in disarray. The year before that, he had a good season. So I think, Brian, that, judgment's still out on Blake Bortles. And if he finishes this year strong, that's 2 out of 3 years he's played well. And I would err more on the side that maybe he is at least a decent NFL quarterback.
Yeah, I think you have to look at him as a decent NFL quarterback, considering they were so bad last year. I don't care who you are as a quarterback, you got to have at least something in your supporting cast, or it's very hard to be successful in the NFL. And they do enough with him to be successful without putting the game on his shoulders. Defensively, they are so good, so that really helps that. And Jacksonville will win this game easily. Right, I shouldn't say easily, but they'll win this game.
Yeah, I agree. I think Jacksonville will win the game. But the 49ers have played better lately. So we'll see what happens. Because actually, I could see the Niners winning this just because I think the Jaguars are on a roll. It's the NFL. They got to go all the way to the West Coast. I think Jacksonville wins a game by a touchdown to 10 points. The next game, we get the New York Football Giants at the Arizona Cardinals. Arizona's favored by 3.5. I'm going to go with the Cardinals. Alex, how about you?
Yeah, this is a game that's really just a toss-up. At this point, it's hard to decide. The Giants have looked a little bit better since they fired their coach. They played well last week against the Eagles. I'm gonna go out on a limb here and pick the Giants.
Yeah, I can see that actually. Defensively, they worry me, but Arizona doesn't have much on offense. But I do like Bruce Arians. Matt?
Yeah, I like Arizona at home. Giants, I think, would probably win this game if they were at home.
Yeah.
But Arizona at home, I've been to that stadium. It's a tough place to play. They're a good team. They're well coached. But I think the injuries have definitely hurt them. But I can still see them winning this game. I just don't think very much the Giants.
All right, Brian.
Yeah, if the Giants were at home, I could see that. But Arizona, a tough place to play. I think the Giants are going to have some people that are ready to cash their checks and get out of the season. So I'll take Arizona at home.
All right, Brian, we'll let you start off with the next one. We got the Seattle Seahawks at the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas is favored by either 3 or 5, because my handwriting sucks. But, Brian?
This pains me, but I'll take the Cowboys at home. I think right now is a time that they need to start playing well and getting that win. Although it was very ugly and maybe they shouldn't have won in Oakland, but I'll take the Cowboys at home.
All right, Matt.
Yep, Dallas at home. They get Ezekiel Elliott back. I think that's going to really give them a lot on offense. So I think Dallas has the right players back at the right time. Seattle, I think, is in trouble. I think they've got problems on the offensive line still. I don't think that defense is a juggernaut anymore. I think they've got some problems over there, and I don't think they're going to win on the road.
Alex.
Yeah, I think you bring a good point up there, Matt, with Ezekiel Elliott being back. I think he's going to be ready to, get himself going again. Now, the thing is, the Cowboys and the Seahawks, I think both lost to the Falcons this year. So the Falcons, although they do have a game on them, it's almost like 2 games since they're in the tiebreaker. So, both these teams are going to be calling for a win. But I think with the Cowboys being at home with Elliott, it just makes sense to pick them. So I'm going to go with the Cowboys.
All right, next game, the Pittsburgh Steelers at the Houston Texans. Of course, we got to go with Schmidt if we're talking Steelers.
Did you make your pick, Mike?
Yeah, I did. Did
I? Okay, I didn't hear it.
Did
I don't know if you
did.
did. I don't think you did.
Who did I pick?
I didn't hear you.
Who was the game?
Seattle, Dallas.
Oh, Dallas. You're right, I didn't pick that. All right, Pittsburgh. I'm glad you brought that up, right? I had to forfeit the pick. Pittsburgh at Houston, Schmitty.
I will expect nothing less than a Pittsburgh victory, and I would really prefer this to be an old Texas ass kicking because we gotta get last week out of our system.
All right. Well, I'm hoping for the Houston Texan win, but I'm predicting a Pittsburgh Steeler ass whipping on the Houston Texans. Alex.
Yeah, well, since I don't cuss, I'm going to say it's going to be a nice butt whooping here by the Steelers.
Ass is not a cuss word.
Go. Okay, well, I don't say it.
It's like a mule, isn't it?
Maybe that's like what you're calling it, so.
Yeah, because it's a mule's ass. I just said that Pittsburgh's going to unleash an old Texas mule ass beating on the Texans. You just made me feel bad because you made me feel inferior because I said a bad word.
That's all right. You guys say them more than I do, so all the time actually. I don't ever say them.
Well, Brian.
First, you'll hear me say it's crap
Brian
on here.
Brian does. Brian cusses all the time.
I will say though, the fact that you're hoping for a Texas win, even though you're picking the Steelers, really upsets me right now because you should know the mood that I'm in because of Sunday's game. You should be more supportive of Steeler victory and making me feel better.
The next time you come up to Ohio, we'll watch a Steelers game together, and I'll let you cuddle in my arms like we used to when they'd lose.
I appreciate that.
You're welcome. Matt?
Yeah, I got to go with the Steelers here. I think, dropping them to 10-4, tying in with the Jacksonville Jaguars kind of changes things a little bit. They need to win, and they need to find a way to get that number 2 spot at least.
All right, next up, Alex Golden, we'll let you go first. It's a rematch of Super Bowl 15, the Oakland Raiders at the Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles are favored by 9.
Yeah, the Eagles looked pretty good last week, coming back against the Giants when they were down with Nick Foles as quarterback for Carson Wentz. This team is a complete football team like we've been saying all year long, and Oakland it's time for Oakland to kiss their season goodbye, and like you said, Jack Del Rio might be his last year too. Yeah. So I'm going to pick Philadelphia here.
All right, and I'm going to
even though Del Rio has a cool name.
Yeah, but you got to blame it on Del Rio. Somebody giggled, so they saw the movie. Maybe blame it on Rio, 1985. Anybody?
I wasn't born then.
No, never seen it.
Brian?
No, I have no idea.
All right. Well, you guys' homework for next week is to find that movie and watch it. It's not very good.
Awesome.
Brian.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Eagles. I mean, even with Foles, I think they're playing. They started off slow against the Giants. They really did, but defensively they didn't play as well as they have. But as the game went on, they kind of got back to Eagles football, and a lot of times that happens when you lose a quarterback, such as Wentz. I mean, it changes things, and they did a really good job with some halftime adjustments, and they came back. So I think they're going to win this game. I don't think it'll be really all that close either.
Yeah, and it's not like their starting quarterback got hurt. They're this great team. And all of a sudden you have a guy that's a crappy quarterback like A.J. McCarron come in and take over for the team. Because if you had A.J. McCarron
is really
there,
good quarterback.
Yeah, if you had A.J. McCarron in Philadelphia, they'd be dead in the water.
Well, not according to some people. But
I don't know who those people are.
No question about it.
Yeah. Matt.
Yeah, I got to go with Philly here. I think Philly is they know everyone's writing them off. Everyone's picking probably the Vikings or the Saints to win the NFC. They know that. I think they're going to win because they're well coached. They obviously have talent on both sides of the ball, but I think this is a game where we're going to see the coaching, and I still think Philly's going to be a tough outcome postseason. So because they're probably if they hang on, I don't know who they play next week, but if they hang on and win these next 2 games, they get home field, and you just don't know.
Yeah,
so I'll go with the Eagles here.
So right now, if we'll finish with this, if you guys had to pick a Super Bowl, who would be your 2 Super Bowl teams, Matt?
I'd probably go Minnesota and New England.
Brian?
I think Minnesota could beat Philly, but wouldn't surprise me if it was Philly.
All right, Brian?
Yeah, I'm the same way. I think it's Minnesota and New England. I'm not going to count Pittsburgh completely out of it either, but I like Minnesota. Minnesota just is a complete football team right now.
All right, Alex?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know much about football. You guys can probably obviously tell by my picks this week, so I wouldn't really take my advice or my picks to heart. But if I were to pick right now, I would pick the Saints coming out of the NFC. And, I hate the Patriots, but I think they're going to do it again. But I'm pulling for the Steelers, Saints, but I think it's going to be Patriots, Saints.
All right. I think everybody's sleeping on the Jaguars. I think with their defensive front and a healthy Leonard Fournette, they could win anywhere. I mean, Pittsburgh, they handled Pittsburgh in Pittsburgh. So I'm not saying it's going to be Jacksonville, but I think they're very dangerous. And I think the Rams are a team that can go on the road and make some noise also. But Minnesota, if they can get home field advantage, I think they're in for sure. But either way, I think with Mike Zimmer, Case Keenum right now should be one of the leading candidates for NFL MVP. I don't know why he isn't with most of the people I hear, but the things he's done this year, I mean, are hard to top. So right now, I would agree. I would say Minnesota, New England, but I'd say watch out for the Rams and the Eagles. I think that's a 3-team race. And in the AFC, I think you're looking at New England with the possibility of Jacksonville. If Antonio Brown's 100% healthy, then I would give Pittsburgh a shot too. But I think, especially if they have to go to New England, Antonio Brown's got to be 100% for them to win that game.
Yeah. I think what's interesting also about Minnesota is if they were to somehow get home field advantage, they have home field advantage all the way to the Super Bowl.
Yeah. So, all right, guys, we're going to wrap it up. I want to remind everybody, Alex Golden, we just posted tonight your courtroom podcast. You want to tell everybody what it was about?
Yeah, sure. But first, I just want to say happy birthday to you, Mike. Congratulations on living another year, making it through. And, it's not easy at your age to keep on making it each year. So.
I know. You're not joking. And when you're 49, you're going to sit there and say, damn, I shouldn't have made fun of him for that. That is an accomplishment.
I know.
Now, I would like to say this, Alex. Schmidt wished me happy birthday on Facebook today. You did it on the show. All right. That's all I'm going to say. Brian, final words?
Yeah. No, not really.
Did you talk about the courtroom podcast yet, Alex?
No, I said first.
It threw me off because you were nice to me. When you were nice to me, it totally discombobulated me.
Hey, it's your birthday. I didn't call the Bengals too many words today, but no, the Corbin podcast, basically, we just not really reviewed, but we just talked a little bit about Kobe Bryant because they retired his jersey in the Staples Center last night. So me and Mark just kind of gave our memories of watching Kobe. And then we also talked about LeBron James kind of mentoring some of these, not necessarily mentoring, but just kind of embracing some of these rookies in the rookie class here. He recently reached out to Donovan Mitchell and Lonzo Ball, and it was pretty well noticed that he was talking to them and saying things to them to encourage them, and just haven't really seen that from LeBron before, so we talked about that as well. So pretty interesting show, and I hope you guys check it out on thegruelingtruth.net. Just type in the Courtroom Podcast, and it's also on my Twitter account, at Alex Golden NBA, if you want to check it out.
Now, are we going to have a Let's Talk Colts this week?
Yeah, we should have one tomorrow. I haven't talked to Gage yet, but I'm sure we'll figure something out. Probably be talking about coaching candidates maybe and or draft picks, because what else is there to talk about this season?
Yeah, I got a Bengals show. We haven't even done it in a couple weeks. I'd have discussed. Matt, I'm sure we got a 49er show coming up this week.
Yes, we do. Dex and I will be on either tomorrow or Thursday, talking about the win over Tennessee and previewing the Jacksonville game. So we'll have a lot to talk about there. And, my social media must be all messed up because I thought your birthday was tomorrow.
Well, it's not, Matt. And even after I brought it up, did you notice, Alex? He still didn't tell me happy birthday. And I don't want to hear it now because it's too late.
No, I don't want to say it now either.
I know, because you never wanted to. Brian did right away this morning, and Alex waited till he talked to me to say it. So, I mean, we went from, we hurt Alex's feeling with the Patriots, and that was on you. And then we had Brian. I hurt Brian's feelings, and now you've hurt mine. So the only person here that has had her feelings hurt was Matt Andruscavage. That's because he's 10 feet tall and bulletproof, as Travis Tritt would say now, because his 49ers are 4-10, and it's beyond his wildest dreams the way this season has turned out.
It is. Nothing can hurt me right now.
See? But, all right, guys, make sure you catch us next Tuesday night live again. Check out our Legends of Boxing podcast this week. On Thursday, we've actually got 3 at 12 o'clock. We've got former heavyweight contender Ron Stander, lost to Joe Frazier. At 3 o'clock, we have newly crowned super middleweight champion Caleb Truex, who upset James DeGale. We got him coming back from England. He'll be on the show then. Thursday night, we'll have former two-time world champion James Buddy McGirt, also trained Mike Tyson. And then Friday at 4 o'clock live, we'll have 1984 Olympic gold medalist Mark Breedlin, was also the welterweight champion of the world. At 5:30, we'll have Ernie Shavers, who fought Larry Holmes in 2 epic battles for the heavyweight championship of the world. And then at 9 o'clock that night, Eastern Time, we'll have former light heavyweight contender Yaki Lopez. So, make sure you check out all of our shows on iHeartRadio, TuneIn, Spreaker, Stitcher. Wherever you find sports podcasts, you'll find The Grueling Truth. So for Alex Golden, Brian Schmidt,
have a Merry Christmas.
And Matt, I didn't wish Mike a happy birthday, Andruscavage. I'm Mike Goodpaster. You've been listening to The Grueling Truth, where legends speak.